afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Our World, Our World Power Show. And it's a beautiful Saturday, isn't it, Glenn?
Yes, it is.
And you're listening to Lady Pauline and my co-host, Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the Honorable Mayor of Sutton Boulevard.
You got it.
Yeah, and we have some special guests with us today. And I also like to say that it's Black History Month, so the topic that we're going to be discussing is very important, and I hope you listeners enjoy with the conversation. Glenn, introduce.
They will understand it and love it.
Oh,
because
okay.
This is Queen Bessie is a play that's going to be produced at JCal right here in Jamaica, Queens. And today we have the playwright, Mr. Tommy J. Moore. We also have the director, but she's not going to be on the radio, but she's in the studio today, Brenda Jones. And we have the actress that's going to be playing Queen Bessie, Brandis Peltier.
Yes.
T-A.
Perfect.
All right. So without any further ado, let's introduce our guest.
All right.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Well,
Tommy.
hello, everyone. My name is Tommy J. Moore. I'm the playwright here. First of all, thank you for having me.
Of course.
You're welcome.
This is my second time here.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
It's always peaceful.
Yes.
It'll bring joy
Yes.
to me.
Oh, really?
Good.
Yeah, really. It's always
Good.
peaceful. I like that. So the play is called Queen Bess. It's about Bessie Coleman, the first American to get an international pilot's license.
Right.
She was awful. She was also a black woman, Indian. And we'll be putting the show up here at JCal.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
okay.
great. I have so many questions to ask you, and I also like to speak to the actress that's playing her role.
Miss Peltier.
Yes. How did you become the actress for this particular play?
Well, I did a one-woman show at JCal earlier this last year.
Okay.
It was last year.
Yeah.
And I worked with Brenda, the director, the same director that's directing this. And I knew that they were putting up Queen Bess later the next year. And Tommy saw the video, the YouTube video, and I already worked with Brenda. And I said, oh, she told me they're doing Queen Bess. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I would like to audition for that. And they decided that it was me.
So it's a one-woman show, huh?
It's a one-woman show.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of fun. It's very exciting. Her life is so exciting and unbelievable, really. So it's definitely challenging, the show, because it's just me.
Yeah.
For an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
About.
Wow.
Do you switch clothes at any point, or you run back and
I do
forth?
have a few costume changes.
okay.
But yeah, it's just me. So,
That's good.
no pressure. And also, she's an icon, and her life was pretty remarkable. So yeah, I'm gonna do my best to honor her.
What would you say is the one of the most intriguing things about her?
For me, honestly, it was her ability to imagine the impossible. Her ability to imagine a way out of her circumstance. She was dirt poor in small Waxahachie, Texas, family of 13.
Wow.
She had to pick cotton with her mom. But she just decided that she was going to get her pilot's license in the 1920s, a Black and Native American woman. So her imagination had to be so expansive.
Yeah, because that's something that women wouldn't just ordinarily
Right? And a lot
think about.
Men
women
wouldn't.
that time didn't
Right.
even imagine stuff
No.
like that.
No.
Yeah, so I think, that's what to me was most impressive, was her ability to imagine doing that and then doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Tommy, tell me a little bit, you're the playwright. Tell me why this particular play? And
Well-
what is it that you want the audience to get out of it?
Well, my company is daretobeblack.com,
Okay.
right? Dare to be black, but the website is .com. And the mission is to actually tell those stories of the blacks that we don't hear about, right? To protect their legacies. The first play I did was about Jack Johnson,
Yes,
Right.
I remember.
Yes.
Yes.
right? So And I figured I'd write a play about a man and then a woman, then a man, and I'll go back and forth until I get people to write with me, right? Other
Okay.
writers. I can't write about everybody, but I do my best to write about who I can write about.
Sure.
There's a lot of stories that's out there we're never going to hear, tell you
Yeah.
the truth. Some stuff is erased already, right? But the ones that we can find out, find information about, I choose to do those. Queen Bess, Bessie Coleman, like the question you asked such a minute ago, I think it was incredible that she left the country for one. She went to France. She just left the country. She learned French and left the country.
Wow.
She flew in a plane, and this is like early during, people were crashing and burning all the time.
Right back
So it's
then.
like, and she's like, I don't think I would do that back then, And I like rides, like in Great Adventures, like the scary rides, but a plane where you could die, and people were crashing and burning constantly back then. So
Oh, yes.
I think her bravery, her courage was incredible, for someone back then. Of course, she thought differently than the average person back then, obviously. But I think I was amazed by that, her learning the language and leaving the country. I have friends now who never left the country. Never
True.
left the country now,
They
right
never-
now.
Yeah.
I know people that haven't left the borough of Queens. Yeah, there are
I
people like that.
know people that never left their house before.
I don't know about that, but
Oh, I don't know those people.
They're hermits. You wouldn't know them. They don't come out.
Well, it's surprising that we were laughing and joking about it, but there are people here in New York City that Bear Mountain is a foreign country to them.
Right, you're right.
And don't get out to see different aspects of the world and the impact.
Right.
And certainly going to France, a country with a different language
Right,
even,
right.
and being able to navigate yourself around that. And as a person of color at that point in time, had to be rough.
Right.
I can't even imagine what she was up against.
Even the ship ride to France,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
True.
had to be a
Yeah.
long journey right
Yeah.
there, but she loved those kind of experiences, I guess. She was one of those thrill seekers, I'm going to imagine,
Yeah.
because I thought a lot of people wouldn't do it back then. And
Did she ever get married? Did she have children?
she was married. I'm not going to go too much into that. You see the play.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right.
You see the play. Everybody listening, come see the play. And you see she was married.
Yeah, come see play.
Okay. All right. Okay. What do you want the audience to get out of this play?
History, Black history. As we know, Texas and Florida, they're trying to take African American history out the schools, right?
Yes.
They teach Chinese, Japanese, Russian, but they don't want African American history in there, period. So it's up to us, really, you asking me, because we can't depend on them. It's up to us to get our history out there.
You're so right. We have to write our own history
Right.
because we can't expect other people and other groups to honor our history.
Right.
Kind of like the Jews in the Holocaust. They are never going to let that go.
No, right.
And they shouldn't.
Right.
But we haven't done the same about our Middle Passage.
Right.
And I think that's the piece that's so important about Black history and the plays that you are delivering to us
Right.
at JPAC and JCal.
Right.
So,
And the Blacks' constant oppression that we have.
Yeah.
Like I was telling her earlier about they made a law that we can't sue the government for slavery. We're the only ones that can't do that. You know what I'm saying? They made that law and they hold us back. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot that, what I'm saying, like a lot of history, things people don't know.
there is a lot. There's
There's
a lot.
law right now that if you hear about this law right now, you're like, that's law still? Like, yeah, that's law still. Even the Emmett Till, that they just passed. You can't hang people anymore. They just passed that. Like,
Just past it.
Like-
Just
Can you
past it.
imagine? Can you imagine? Just past. That's unbelievable.
incredible.
Well, you think about it and you look at it. That's why the white supremacists have felt as comfortable as they have felt, and Donald Trump hasn't helped our situation around that as well because he's
Right.
allowed them to kind of come
And
to the
ignite it.
forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he ignites it, yes, for sure.
Yeah. So again, it goes back to the importance of us knowing our history and understanding the great heroes and sheroes that are part of our history, that are part of our legacy.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, question to the actress. How long have you been acting and what got you started?
I've been acting on and off probably since I was 10 years old. I think I wrote a really terrible Halloween play for the neighborhood kids at 10, and the parents raved about it, and it was garbage, I'm sure. But I really just loved the excitement of entering a new world and telling a new story, but also finding correlations between the character's life and my life as well. And so, yeah, on and off, because I took a break to work and do other things. But now I'm back. I'm a full-time actress, and I love it. Yeah.
Who would you say, either in your family or outside of your family, that inspired you to take on acting?
Well, my mom always, I mean, she just was so cultured. We were always going to theater and plays and Alvin Ailey. I remember when I saw Alvin Ailey when I was a kid, and I just could not stop singing songs. My brothers were like, she won't stop singing. And my mom was like, well, what is she singing? And I told her the song. She was like, she can keep singing. And so, you know, we would see the Nutcracker, ballets, Alvin Ailey. We'd go to theater. My mom always encouraged just like, and I played instruments, and she just was like, yeah, just go. I danced. She never said, do something real, you know? She was like, no, keep going. You're acting, right? And when I stopped dancing, she was like, oh, you're gonna break my heart. But I might get back into dancing. So
Now, did your parents, did they do any kind of theatrical?
they're not theatrical. My mom writes. She's a writer.
Oh, okay,
And she
okay.
used to be athletic. She used to be a cheerleader, but no, she never did any theatrical. I'm the only one in the family. My brothers are, he draws. He's an artist and a designer, and my other one is a filmmaker. So, no. And my dad was a construction worker.
Okay.
Interesting, but the family roots are all in the arts and
Yeah,
and,
very
and-
creative
and
family,
creative,
and
yeah.
they've always been very supportive. Because I know with actors, it's not as easy to have supportive parents be like,
Sure.
yes, pursue it, because it's challenging.
It is very
rightfully
challenging.
so. But my family has always been like, just keep going, you got this. So.
Now,
Cool.
what advice would you give to a young lady, such as yourself, that wants to get into acting, as opposed to just working a regular job? Because we know that this field in show business, the money is here one day and not here the next day. So, what is your spin on it?
I think especially when you're first starting out, you will have to get a job. But that doesn't mean that you can't pursue the career while you're at the job. That might not be your dream job. You know, when you first start working, it's not going to be your dream job. Some people do land their dream job when they're young, and some people you just have to do things. But I was always working jobs that I didn't love, but I was always auditioning on the side, you know, or writing things for myself on the side, or getting together with friends and doing scene work, just because it was something that fed my soul, something that I always needed. So advice for a young lady that, or man or woman that wants to get into acting, but is not able to quit their job because of financial reasons right away, I would just say try to find a balance, you know. Take a class or two on the side when you can until you can get to that point. I wasn't always in a position to be a full-time actress, especially in this city. But when the pandemic hit, I was like, I don't want to go back to that job. I really just want to go for it. And got an agent, and things started working out. It was challenging in the beginning, but you know, things eventually worked out.
You know, it's surprising, or maybe it's not so surprising, but there are a lot of people during the pandemic really did some soul searching and looked to see what really was important to them. And
Yeah.
clearly you said to yourself, not that, this.
Yeah. I mean, for so many years, I had been saying, I'm going to quit this job and I'm going full speed ahead with acting. I'm going to get everything together. You know, it had been a buildup. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, the time is now. And then when I told my boss at the time I wasn't coming back, I was like, you know, just a quick
A
moment of
little scary,
panic.
yes, a little
But
scary.
then I was like, wait a minute, I could go get a job.
Right,
I know how to get a job, so I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a career.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Tommy, what about you? What made you pursue this work?
Well, I was always an actor,
Okay.
right? And I think when it came to writing, I found purpose in that, right? So I found some purpose in writing, like about African American history, and my drive comes from that. Actually, I do other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not doing the gangster stuff like that, but I'm doing other things. But I think as far as telling the youth, even coming into this business, if you can involve yourself in all the facets, like whether you do lighting, you direct it, learn everything, see what you like. You may like directing more than acting. It could happen if you want to be in the business. It's like any other job. You want a job, like you want to be that person that they can fire. Like, no, he does this, and this, right? You want to be that person that knows a few different things in the business. And some people hit the jackpot. They come into business, like, particularly like whiter people. They come in and they blow up real fast, right? Things happen. Like for black, I had a debate with I was doing Jack Johnson, and we were doing a regional tour with it. And the producers had white producers. Shout out to the Guttermans, they were cool though, right? And they said, okay, Tommy, you're gonna do all the off Broadway and the regional theater, but when we go to Broadway, we want Idris Elba to play the part. Right? Now I wrote it for myself and everything, right? So I was a bit offended. So I said, let me tell you something. I said, every year it's a bunch of white stars come out. Twilight, the movie Twilight, a bunch of white stars come out. One playing Batman right now. I said, we got Idris Elba, Denzel, and Sidney Poitier. Like, come on, give me a break.
That's the only ones that they can come up with.
Yeah, exactly. So I want that to change. And now I said, there's so many different platforms. Everybody needs content. So things are different now.
Right.
I could find my way as a writer.
Yeah.
Almost probably faster than I could find myself as an actor. Probably with the writing because I got screenplays ready, pilots ready, and Byron Allen, I got you. I know you need content.
How do you feel about the different platforms that is out here now, and how different it is today as it was opposed to yesterday?
Well, I think that minorities can actually control the message now. In a way, don't get me wrong, because we know that as soon as like the 1619 project, about all that stuff, as soon as the black films and things are open to greenlit all the way, we know that there'll be mostly white producers, and that's where the money goes.
Right.
You may have all the actors there, but the producers are making all the money. So I'm afraid that's going to happen. They're going to write they have this new AI program that can write scripts. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah.
So
yes,
it's like
yes,
there's so much going on now.
Chat GPT.
Right.
GPT.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they can't, of course, they're not gonna be able to touch the certain things, like of course that the black person who's been oppressed and been through, but they could write a basic story and they'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I saw Lady Sings the Blues, and it was a good. I think Dana Ross did a great job. But when you see the one that Andre Day did, that Lynn Nottage, the playwright, wrote, it's different. It's our story.
Okay.
You can see how she was oppressed, how she was being held back, how they kept on drugs like they did most artists back then. It was so much going on. So I think that we should write the stories. And I know that most of the, I'm not saying all white America, but a lot of white America, they fear the truth being out there. I mean, there's some horrific things they did to our people.
Yeah.
That nobody talks about. And I mean, as simple as, I remember when slavery was over, my grandmother was telling me about, like, when slavery was over, it was passed down, they were so upset that they fed the babies to alligators in front of the mothers.
Yes.
That's how upset
yes.
they were. Like,
we
can you
did a
imagine?
story on that, as a matter
It's
of
like
fact.
ridiculous. Like, it's like, so they don't want those stories come out there. I don't want to hear them myself, to tell you the truth, but the truth should be out there.
Well, when we think about our history and we think about what we've gone through and that we have forgiven,
Right.
we are a forgiven people.
Oh, that's true.
And I don't know that they can encompass that.
It's not in them.
It's
not in them.
There's a disconnect around when it comes to that. It's like, well, I'm just going to do my whatever act I'm going to do, and I don't care about anything or anybody else. And we, no matter what the atrocities are thrown on us, we have the compensity to forgive and
Right.
to allow to coexist. And I think that that's what has allowed us to survive, clearly all these years.
Definitely.
But it then again, I keep coming back to it. Then again, it makes it so important for our story to be told.
Right.
What we went through and what, voting and some of the things that people have died for that some of our younger generation kind of put to the side and, oh, well, it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
It's not important, my one vote, but it really is in the totality of it. But you have to be thinking in the totality and not just in the individuality.
Right.
So,
Right. And that's about being coming outside yourself, seeing purpose. It's not just about us.
yeah.
Even like simple things like they talk about the atmosphere, what do you call it again?
The global warming?
Yeah, global warming. Like, a lot of people don't even care about that. When you think about generations after you got to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like back in the days when they built the big cathedrals, it would take hundreds of years to build those things.
Yeah.
So your father might start on it, but he may not be alive when it's done.
When
No,
it's
of
done.
course,
Next
most of the
generation
time it isn't so.
Yeah.
they're
So
not
people
alive.
they don't look at things like that. Not anymore.
Yeah, and you're right. It's important to know the legacy that you're building, because we're building civilizations.
Right.
you know, and what we leave for them is what they'll have for the next few generations. And so it's important that we have these plays and we have these stories and we have this conversations.
Well, you know something, what
Yeah,
you're
go.
saying is true. It's not just the acting, it's the platforms that we now have. And black media
Right.
that plays a big role into how other people see us.
Right.
Yes.
Because now we're telling the stories from our point of view, you know.
Right.
And I think that's very important, you know, as opposed to what you even said about Diana Ross and the stories that you've seen. It's not by our people that has,
Right.
it's somebody else. That's telling.
Like I said,
So
she
it's
did
not
a great job, though.
yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah,
she did a great job.
Yeah, she did.
You know.
What's in the projects for you for the upcoming year?
Well, I think I was telling you that, like, every year I'll probably write 2 one-man shows. So the next one I want to write about to get Mary Bowser. Now, Mary Bowser was a slave. I don't know if you know, she was a slave who was free because her master died. And the white wife taught her how to read. She became a spy for the Union. So she worked in the Confederate White House, and they didn't know she could read. So they would be fighting each other because, like, you know, she would read stuff and memorize stuff. She never wrote anything down, memorize stuff. She had a photographic memory. And they go back and they be fighting over. And she's the reason why the Union won. But it's not talked about. But there's not enough history about her that I could actually write a play about. I have to make all that stuff up, it seems like, because all they have it. She has 3 different names. There's no. She's pretty much erased. So, but I think her story should be. I gotta find a way to write little short, little snippets kind of thing, so you can still know her life. You know, because there's plenty of plays and things you write about as far as being the first black anything, right?
Right,
First
true.
black pilot, teacher, whatever. They all went through something.
Yes.
You know, they all went through something.
Yeah.
So the stories, as far as, cause I think about Bessie Coleman, like, you know, like going to. I don't know if I would have done that back then, if I had gone to France.
Well, you know something, a lot of actors and actresses, they did go to France. That's where they got their,
Black
like
performers
Eartha
and
Kitt, a
artists.
lot of people.
James Baldwin, Nina
Yeah,
Simone.
James Baldwin, yes. They felt at home.
Yeah.
They felt welcome.
And maybe
Josephine Baker.
and maybe
Joseph-
she was
yeah.
Baker, yeah, she was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she
But I
was-
think that when Bessie went there, that wasn't happening yet, right?
Did not
No,
get that.
no, that was still a
She
little
the
early for
start.
that.
She was the start of it.
Right. She was the start of it. She was
Yes,
like,
yeah.
You out here.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Definitely.
You know. Now, as an actress, what is some of the things that you would like to do? What type of roles do you like to play?
I love any role that challenges me and where I can see that this person, this woman gets to grow, especially roles where a woman, she's growing out of circumstances that are designed to hold her back. I really love those roles because I think a lot of roles for Black women are kind of one-dimensional. So it's really important to find roles that push this person out of her circumstances because of what she wants to be better and how she wants to be better. But yeah, I want to do it all. TV, you know, I just got a brand new agent, so, you know, got some auditions coming up, and yeah, TV, all of it.
Now, tell me the dates and the time that the play is going to be seen and so forth and so forth. Tommy, want to start? Since you the playwright.
First show begins this Thursday, February 23rd, then the Friday 24th, and the Saturday 25th, and then the following week. You want to do that? Following week?
March 2nd, March 3rd, and March 4th.
Oh,
So it's six shows that are open to the public, 8 p.m. shows at JCal.
Okay.
And yeah, it's gonna be really great.
Are they free or you have to pay? What's the
I
deal?
think the tickets are $10.
$10.
Yeah,
Oh,
$10.
so, okay,
Yeah.
$10.
$10. You can
Oh,
find
it's like-
$10. Walking to the theater, you can find $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Give me a dollar.
Yeah, and everyone's been working really hard. It's been a collaborative effort to put on the best show possible. And like I said, for me, I just really want to honor, obviously, the playwright, the director's vision, the playwright's vision, and also honor Bessie as best I can. So, gonna
And
give
you
it my
have an
all.
awesome director,
Yes.
Brenda
Miss
Jones.
Brenda Jones.
You say Glenda?
Miss
I thought you said
Brenda Jones.
I hear that
Yeah,
she knows
and-
how to whip you all into shape.
No, she's great, and she has great insights. And and we have a stage manager, Randy, who's on top of it. Everyone, is working together to make it the best it can be. And I think it's really important, especially with a story that's so important in a community. This is her community, the Black community, especially for children to see and families to see, because you have to find different ways to tell these important stories, because not everyone receives them the same way. That's why theater and art is so important, so that certain people can receive it in a different way. Be entertained, but also be inspired and be educated and, be moved to
That's very true.
continue the storytelling.
Where would you like to see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
My agent asked me that question too. All over the world, movies, all of it. Broadway, it's all on the horizon for sure. I honestly, I never thought, I'm not going to say never thought I'd do a one-woman show, but I didn't know it was going to come so quickly with the first one-woman show that happened. And I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this. Mm-hmm. And that one was six different characters, so 7 different characters. But after I did that, I said, okay, I can do this, Okay. The idea of it was pretty daunting in the beginning, but I put in the work and I did it. And after it was done, I said, okay. So then when this came, I said, okay, here we go again.
Yes, that's
but,
beautiful.
it's a great challenge. You want to be challenged as a performer, as an artist. You want to be pushed. That's how you elevate.
True.
So I'm excited
Now,
about it.
also, Tommy, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? What is it that you're really dying to accomplish? What is it?
I want to be a content creator. I want to create shows, for one. I act also. I don't know. Yeah. So I have a show. I got cast in the show as a Greek director that's in June. It's June coming up. So I stopped auditioning for a while because I was doing a lot of writing. Because I'm trying to meet Byron Allen.
Oh, yeah, I know you do.
Because they need content creators. They need these things. And and my stuff is positive for Black people. It's Black history. It's some stuff to do with Christianity and Judaism. But it's positive stuff. I'm not, you'll see some things happening in the shows, but it's for a reason. It's a purpose, So I just want to create these shows. And as far as Black history, I have to continue to write Black history. That's like I said, you go to my page, daretobeblack.com, you'll see the mission. And the mission is to protect the legacies of African-American icons, period. So just putting those stories out there, we have to put those stories out there.
Yes, we do.
I don't care if you writing little books, but whatever you do, just get the stories out there, because they'll rewrite the story on you. And you'd be like, I watched, I know everybody think he's crazy, the Kanye West, but he's talking about it's funny how I go online now, my father's the Black Panther. He goes online now, Black Panther comes up, the cartoon, the Black Panther don't come up anymore when you type in Black Panther. It'll come up, but Black Panther will come out first, the movie.
Right,
So it's the way of you don't pay attention to little subtle things, but they do happen. A lot of subtle things happen that we pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it was my pleasure having both of you on our World Hour Power show, and
That's
I'm
fast.
going to be there for the 25th.
Yay.
Oh, great.
Definitely to catch the show and see what it's all about. I'm already geared up for next Saturday.
Oh, you're gonna
I'm
love her.
excited.
You're gonna
I'm
love her.
excited.
She's a great actress.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, she is.
Now, again, how can people reach you both? Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, well, you can I say call me. You can reach me at Tommy J Moore, TOMMIE, Tommy J Moore on Facebook, Instagram, or just send me an email on daretobeblack.com.
Okay. And what's the address of where the show is going to be held?
Oh,
JCal.
man. JCal.
Yeah.
JCal.
16104
Jamaica
Jamaica
Ave.
Ave.
Jamaica Ave.
She's not
Okay.
slow, y'all. She just
She's reading the top.
Yeah, so it's
She's getting the cue cards from the director.
Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning.
Right.
If you go on their website, then you can see information about Queen Bess. There's 6 performances. We would love to have a full house every night. We're going to put on an incredible show, and we're really excited.
Good.
And let's give a shout out to Courtney French. He's not here right
Yeah.
now. He was
Yeah,
here the
Courtney.
last time we was here.
Yes.
That's true. That's
We
true.
laughed.
We
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the artistic director at JCal.
Correct.
Yes.
Courtney French, and he's been holding it down and doing a great job there, bringing things to the community. So it's important that we have these kind of events
Right.
that are open to the public, and just culture. We are a cultural people. We thrive on culture.
Right.
And to have this available is just a great thing to have it here in Jamaica.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Glenn, what's going on? I know we have gone to a few of Black History Month events. What else is coming up for the rest of the month? You know.
Well, next week, Mr. Clay is actually going to be being honored next
Spectrum?
week from Black Spectrum
All right.
Theater and Carl Clay, and so that's an event. I believe it's at 6 o'clock at the Black Spectrum Theater.
Okay.
So we're looking to support that.
And your
go
jazz?
forward.
What's going on with your jazz?
We have jazz at the Air Train Terminal, which is basically almost across the street from where our studio is. But from 5 to 7, we have two 45-minute sets with 30-minute a break in between. And that's going to be from every Thursday till the end of June. So we're going to go, and these are local artists, and these are, when I say local, I ain't talking about just somebody off the street. I'm talking about these are folks that have been playing for 15, 20, 30 years,
Right.
40 years, legacy folks that get together and bring different groups. So each week we have a different group playing a different kind of jazz, making it available for free on the Air Train Terminal.
Nice, nice.
Okay, sounds like a good plan for the rest of the month. And you've been listening to Lady Pauline and Mr. Glenn Greenwich, our Honorable Mayor of Southern Boulevard. Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Our World Media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Our World Media #1. And thank you, guests, for being
Thank you
here
for having us. Thank you
for having
for
us.
Black History Month.
appreciated.
And I'm going to be there next week, Saturday, to see you everything. Catch you all next week, same time, same place.
All right.